It's been another very wet day across Kentucky, and it looks like we could just be getting started. With the potential impacts from Helene on the horizon, our first alert weather day continues. Meteorologist Eric Dean joins us now with the latest forecast. Eric.
All right, good evening, Steve. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, let's take a look here at the latest now with live pinpoint Doppler radar. Now, these are Doppler radar estimated rainfall totals. These aren't the official. These are estimated. I want to go ahead and pinpoint a couple of places over towards the Norton area, projected around 3.2 inches. Portions of Harlan County did get about 3 inches, so that is on par for that. Over towards the Hazard area, Hazard picking up reportedly about 2 inches. Depending on your location, Pikeville area picking up about 1.5 inches. Jackson picking about 2 inches. So the average, if we were to take this and do a complete average across the entire viewing area, about 1.7 inches of rain. Some a little more, some a little less. And again, this is some good rain that we need, but too much could result in not so good conditions, as localized flooding will be the main concern. Hence why we have that flood watch in effect for portions of the viewing area. Right now we find temperatures in the 50s and 60s, low 70s towards Irvin as well as Somerset. Of course, Somerset right now, you're kind of clearing out in terms of rain. We'll keep the rain chances in the forecast as we go throughout the overnight hours. The question is, will it let up any time on the 7-day forecast? I'll have that answer in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Stein was arraigned in court virtually this morning. This comes after Stein was charged with murder in the death of District Judge Kevin Mullins. WYMT's Amelia Lee joins us now live in downtown Whitesburg, and she has the latest on what happened today and what comes next. Amelia.
Today, Sheriff Mickey Stein was arraigned after reportedly shooting and killing Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers last week. Now, during that arraignment today, WYMT was able to attend virtually, and we learned what comes next in this process, and we also learned what Sheriff Stein pled in terms of his murder charges.
Does he want to enter a plea at this time?
Your Honor, he would enter a plea of not guilty and request a date for preliminary hearing.
During the arraignment, there was some tension between Commonwealth's attorney Jackie Steele and public defender Josh Miller. That's in regards to why Miller was at the arraignment in unofficial capacity, since he was not appointed as a public defender at that time.
You know, they're using state resources at that point in time that they've not been appointed to use. It's the only thing I was bringing to the court's attention.
The judge has now granted a public defender for Stein during the preliminary hearing, due to the fact that they need to have that hearing in 10 days. But in terms of the state continuing to provide a public defender for Stein, the costs add up, especially as the judge says Stein makes a decent amount of money, coming in at $115,000 a year as the Letcher County Sheriff.
If and when this case does proceed to circuit court, the circuit court may require you to hire your own counsel.
While the public defender will work for Stein, Commonwealth's attorney Jackie Steele is working for the state of Kentucky.
It's sad there's victims on both sides of this that don't understand what's going on and why things happen, and hopefully we can get some resolution for them in the criminal justice system.
At this point in time, Stein is still the sheriff, but it is not certain how long he will have that title for while in the Leslie County Detention Center.
Sir, it's my understanding that he's in the process of losing his job as the sheriff of Letcher County, obviously, and will not have income going forward. His family is not prepared for this eventuality.
The cost of defending a case like this could cost upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars. We do know that the preliminary hearing is set for Stein for October 1st at 1 o'clock, and that's going to be in West Liberty. And he'll actually be driven there by Kentucky State Police so that he can attend that in person. In Letcher County, Amelia Lee, WYMT Mountain News.
Amelia, thank you. And people may be wondering what's happened with the Mountain Heritage Festival. Obviously not much going on behind you there, but there is still a festival going on down the street, correct? Obviously the weather is not ideal for it.
That is correct. As I was driving to Letcher County today, you can see right by the Veterans Museum, there's just a whole line of people out and about today for that Heritage Festival.
And that will continue through the end of the week. Amelia, thank you. A bail has not been announced at this point for Sheriff Mickey Stein. and police have still not released a motive for the shooting. Here's a little more background information about Sheriff Mickey Stein, and he is still technically the sheriff at this point. Stein is 43 years old and lived in the McRoberts community. He was formerly a bailiff in district court prior to being elected sheriff in 2018. This was his second term as Letcher County Sheriff. We had interviewed Stein as recently as last month about a drug bust. A man wanted for questioning in connection with the death of his wife has been arrested on outstanding warrants in West Virginia. Huntington police say Robert Daniels was arrested on outstanding felony warrants this afternoon in Mingo County. Daniels was also wanted for questioning in connection with the death of his wife. Michelle Daniels was found with severe injuries at a home in Huntington Friday. She later died at the hospital. Police in Laurel County have arrested a woman after it was discovered she had several warrants here in Kentucky. Officers with London PD's investigation section and the LaGrange Police Department out of Oldham County were told where to find Roberta Paget and take her into custody. In addition to having 7 outstanding warrants in Kentucky, she was wanted out of 9 states. One charge includes theft by deception. She was taken to the Oldham County Detention Center. London police officers have arrested a man on a warrant and found drugs on him during the arrest. On Monday, officers found 45-year-old Ronald Reams. During the arrest, police found what was believed to be suspected meth and marijuana. Reams was served on his outstanding warrant for a parole violation. 2 years after historic floods devastated eastern Kentucky, people are still working to rebuild their lives. 45 people were killed, thousands of homes were damaged or destroyed. Many of those affected are still waiting on permanent housing. Today, as Samantha Valentino shows us, 14 families received the keys to their brand new homes.
Lonnie Arrowwood remembers the night of the July 2022 floods like it was yesterday.
What woke us up was our cars floating in the front yard.
Lonnie says when he went outside, the water washed him away.
There was a pickup truck sitting outside, and I grabbed a hold of the an old hamper that was standing behind it, and held on there until the water started calm down some. It was real powerful, real high.
The place he and his wife Margaret had called home for 40 years was completely destroyed.
We were just out of everything, really, and it destroyed everything.
They've been living in a trailer ever since, but Wednesday they and 13 other families received the keys to brand new homes.
We say it's paid in full, just like the blood of Jesus Christ that washed away the sins of this world. We didn't deserve it, and we didn't earn it. This is a free gift.
Edward Graham is the COO of Samaritan's Purse. They built these homes for families who, like the Arrowwoods, lost everything.
We use volunteers a lot. We have paid contractors and licensed builders, but we use a lot of volunteer labor that'll come in and help build these communities.
Graham says many of the people now living here were impacted by both the 2021 and 2022 floods. That's why he says they chose an area on high ground for this community, so hopefully flooding will never affect them again. In Breathitt County, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
Edward Graham says tomorrow he and Samaritan's Purse are off to Mayfield in western Kentucky, where they are handing over the keys to more than 80 new homes they built there. We have an update tonight on State Senator Johnny Turner of Harlan County. You may remember the senator who represents several counties in our area was involved in a lawnmower incident. Dustin Isaacs with the Senate Majority Caucus provided a statement about Senator Turner's condition today. It says, quote, he recently had his first physical therapy assessment, is physically improving, and remains in good spirits. Although he's still in some pain and remains in the ICU, we are confident in the strength and resilience he continues to exhibit. We are all optimistic about his continued positive progress and ask all Kentuckians to keep him and his family in their prayers. This morning, the Harlan County Fiscal Court and community leaders signed a contract to bring high-speed internet to more areas. WYMT's Austin Hicks tells us how a local provider is doing their part.
On Wednesday, the Harlan County Fiscal Court, led by Judge Executive Dan Mosley, with the help of the Center for Rural Development, signed a contract with Harlan County Television to bring high-speed internet to the Clover Fork area of Harlan. Judge Executive Dan Mosley said the deal will bring folks into the 21st century.
It really brings those people into the 21st century. I mean, when you can provide high-speed internet to people in today's world that we need to be able to learn remotely at times, we need to be able to work remotely, it just gives people an advancement in their quality of life.
The partnership will serve 394 households alongside 116 businesses in the area. Mosley says the deal is sweeter due to the partnership being with a local provider in Harlan Community Television instead of an outside company. The deal also brings more jobs to the Harlan area through the company.
We're able to provide jobs for local Harlan Countyans. We're able to, everybody that works over there lives in this town. My house is just a half mile around the corner, and my kids grew up here, and it just means more opportunities for things like that.
To make this deal possible, Harlan Community Television invested $956,000 of their own money and another $956,000 investment from the Appalachian Regional Commission and Harlan Fiscal Court. To be able to work with different organizations for the betterment of the folks in the Harlan area was important to organizers.
So important to have those local partnerships and folks that, when service is out, you can call somebody, a lot of times it's your neighbor, somebody your kids go to school with them, and so it's so good to have somebody that is a local partner in this.
The Harlan Fiscal Court is expecting to sign another contract to bring broadband to another area of underserved.
The Center for Rural Development used a speed test initiative to identify the areas in need of improved service. The Power Up the Pantry food drive is set to begin soon, and WYMT is teaming up with Kentucky Power once again this year. The event is tomorrow, and there will be multiple locations where you can drop off non-expired and non-perishable food. You can go to Broadway Square in Ashland from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. and the Ashland-Cannonsburg Walmart from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. A little closer to the heart of eastern Kentucky, there will be a tent set up at the Hazard Walmart and the Pikeville Walmart, and you can go there anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Wish the weather was going to be a little bit better for this event, Eric, but hopefully a lot of folks will still come out and donate to a worthy cause.
Yeah, hopefully they do, but unfortunately the weather is not